Okay. Hi, everybody. So glad that you're here and welcome to Be Inspired. This is an interview series where I'll be featuring women that are making a difference with their gifts and their talents to help others live better. And it is my pleasure today to introduce you to Ericka Young, our February Be Inspired guest. So, Ericka, it is so wonderful to see you again. And I'm so glad I was able to reconnect with you. And I'll tell everybody that Ericka and I met about 4 years ago in a women's networking group, and I immediately just fell in love with her. She's got a great story to share with you today. And so I'm going to go ahead and let her take the floor and tell us about herself, and we'll go from there. Okay, Ericka, thank you.
Well, thank you, Liz, for having me. It's really a pleasure to be here. I'll just start by sharing that I'm a wife of nearly 22 years. I'm a mom of a 21-year-old and a 17-year-old. So I've got girls who are juniors in high school and in college. And gosh, actually, you know, the thing that motivates me most is my family. And because of them, I'm doing all the things that I'm doing right now. That's the honest truth. And so, um, my husband and I had quite a lot of debt when we got married. We really wanted to understand what was the secret, what was the secret sauce to getting out of debt, because we knew that this was not what we wanted for our lives. We both came from single parent households, and it was tough seeing our mothers raise us with not all the resources that they needed.
Mhm.
And we just didn't want to repeat the same cycle. So we committed to learning about personal finance, learning how to invest our monies, and learning how to stay out of debt, that kind of thing. And for me, it blossomed into a full-time work that I have now been in for 16 years. So I love working with people, making sure that they have a path to financial freedom, and I enjoy, helping them along the journey through my coaching work.
Right. Oh, that's incredible. That's great. I see that you also, looks like you went to school. Actually, your undergraduate degree was in electrical engineering.
Yes, yes, that was my first love, if you will. I loved math and science, and I was told, "Hey, you need to go into engineering. This would be great for you." And I did enjoy it. I will say that it wasn't what filled me up, and I do believe that the work that I do now fills me up. But when my husband and I got out of debt, I left the engineering career to pursue coaching full time,
Right.
and that's what I've been doing ever since.
Well, that's great. So it sounds like your pivotal life event was that you and your husband realizing being in debt, and then what was that journey like? Then becoming a financial coach.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, the very first moment we knew we had a mess was when we had our first daughter, and we had a car repair that we could not afford. And it was about $1,000 to get a new engine. And that was the moment that something clicked inside of me. And I said, if I cannot take care of my family because I can't afford a $1,000 emergency, then what am I doing?
Mhm.
And we drew a line in the sand and said, never again. We cannot be in this situation again. It did take some months. It took some hard no's on some of the things in life in order to not be back in that place again.
Mhm.
But it forced us to desire to get out of debt and to seek out what that would look like. And the journey that we went on is what I encourage everyone to go on, is to just find the freedom that comes, because we had $1,000 in debt payments. That was student loans, credit cards, and our car notes. And to have one of those vehicles, die on us
Right.
was tough. And so I think a lot of people don't realize how much debt is taking away from them.
Mhm.
And we realize that if I can't fix this vehicle,
Mhm.
what's really going on here? And so that was our pivotal moment. And I went on a journey to read as much as I can and understand. I did become a Dave Ramsey certified coach. And
Mhm.
so a lot of my principles and philosophies come from that work.
Mhm.
And, it took probably about a year for me to really step out and say, okay, it's time for me to just leave the job, because I did both
Right.
for a season.
Right.
But I honestly have not been looking back.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. Well, I know personally, I had a pivotal moment. I was 50 and I had just started my personal chef job, and I hadn't saved a dime, and I had a very successful horse operation. Luckily, I wasn't in an in debt situation, But I also realized I didn't know that much about budget, money, or any of that. And I've dumbed into, quite by accident, I think it was either on Oprah or the Today Show, and it was introduced to the book The Automatic Millionaire.
Yeah.
And I mean, Ericka, that book changed my world. In fact, I've done
Yes.
a post video on it, and how that saving that little bit, and just like if someone has that budget, which I'll talk about a little bit more here, but that can just make all the difference. And when you put stuff away that you don't see, it's just you learn to live without it, and you
Yes.
just have things allocated. But
Yeah. Yeah. But having things done automatically just makes it easy. I think that's the one thing that we think, oh, budgeting's hard or I need more money. I mean, we have to find ways to make it easy for ourselves. So
right.
it doesn't have to be complicated, but it does have to be consistent. That's the key.
Exactly. Well, I remember the day that it was so exciting that you announced when we were at in one of our networking meetings when your book was published. Share a little
Yes.
book, Naked and Unashamed. I love that name.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So 3 years ago, this month, 3 years ago, my book was published. And honestly, I did it because I love working with couples. And Naked and Unashamed is a nod to um, as a believer, we see naked and unashamed in the Bible where it talks about couples coming together and making sure that they are one. And I
Yes.
think that we don't do this in our money. We do not get vulnerable and take off all the armor that we have concerning our dollars and cents. And so I want couples to have a tool to be able to do that successfully with, talking about their money past and how they were raised, talking about their money present and where they are today, and then talking about their money future and what they want to create. And if they do that as a team
Yes.
with some resources, some questions that they can answer, ways to dialogue, and some tools in order for them to organize their finances, then honestly they will have a solid foundation for financial success. But I think it's difficult when we put on these masks and these layers to hide ourselves versus really being open with the person that we say we love.
Right. I agree. Well, that's fantastic. Well, from all of your expertise and your experiences, if you were to leave our audience with three things that can help them live better, what would those three things be, Ericka?
That's a good question. Well, I'll tell you this. I have worked with over 400 clients and I've talked to thousands of people in my journey in these last 16 years. And the biggest thing is to bring down the walls from the budget. Make sure that you do not continue to see the budget as limiting. Do not do that to yourself. Allow the budget to be what is your pathway to success. It is simply a plan and you
Yeah.
are in control of it. So just make sure that you change your outlook on what a budget can be for you. It is a tool. The
Yeah.
other thing that I would say is making sure that you have a reality check. Everybody needs to actually add up expenses, like face the piper, make sure that you look back, yes, and see where your money is being spent. We don't want to do it because it's uncomfortable, but if you don't know where your money is going, you do not know how to control it.
Mhm.
And then the third thing that I would say is be easy on yourself. Give yourself some grace. I mean, we all make mistakes. I've made mistakes. I was in debt. My husband and I had to climb out of $100,000 in debt.
Mhm.
Everybody has some mountain to climb. So
Yeah.
give yourself some grace and know that perfection is not the goal. It's
Mhm.
enjoying the journey, getting closer to your goals, and making certain that you can have a smile on your face at the end of it. That's important.
Right. Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Well, I'm going to be putting all of your contact information along with this in, when we've wrapped up our video in this post. But also, is there anything if somebody wanted to have a consult? Do you offer anything like that, or how if somebody wanted to reach out? What can you offer them as what do you do that way, Ericka?
Yes, actually. So everybody that comes to me, we always start off with the 30-minute session. I just want to understand where you are and how I can help and get your questions
Okay.
answered.
Mhm.
Always free of charge so that I can make sure that if I'm the right person, fabulous. We both know that. If not, I can move you to the person that you might need to talk to. But I also do have a free 7-day money challenge that you can jump into. It's a video series where you get
Oh,
one piece of content on a daily basis. It's just 3 to 4 minutes video on different financial topics that can help you win. And that's the 7daymmoneychallenge.com. So those
oh,
are two ways to get in touch with me.
okay. Well, I think I'm going to have to do that challenge, Eric. I love a challenge.
There you go. There you go.
I know. Well, Erica, this has been a delight, and thank you so much for being our guest. And I know that everybody here in Live Better is going to certainly benefit from hearing you today, and I just really appreciate it. So,
Thank you so much for having me. It was fun.
okay, great. Well, we'll be back in touch, and you might find a little bag of granola coming your way too.
Ah, I love it. That'll do my heart good.
Okay, all right, Erica. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. You too.
Okay, bye bye.